Hello. I'm going to talk to you about They Say, I Say, the moves that matter in academic writing. This is from a book called They Say, I Say by Gerald Graff and Kathy Birkenstein, in which the art of establishing argumentative points is explored. So think about practice and basic moves and activities that you do particularly well, such as playing a sport, playing an instrument, art, or even just everyday activities. You're able to perform these activities because you've learned the series of complicated moves that go into them, and you've practiced and repeated it. And the same applies to writing. Accomplished writers rely on established moves for communicating sophisticated ideas. In an argument paper, you're looking to enter the conversation. The best academic writing deeply engages in some way with other people's views. So you'll be writing the voices of others into your text. You enter a conversation using what others say, or might say, as a launching pad or sounding board for your own ideas. In the real world, we make arguments because someone has said or done something, or perhaps they haven't said or done something, and we feel the need to respond, such as, I can't see why you like the Lakers so much, or I agree, it was a great film, or that argument is contradictory. Without other people's opinions, there would be no reason to challenge, agree with, or otherwise respond. There would be no reason to argue at all, and who wants to live in a world where there's no argument? To make an impact as a writer, you make statements that are logical, well-supported, consistent, and you must find a way to enter a conversation with other views, with something they say. So if your argument doesn't identify the they say you are responding to, then it probably won't make sense. What you are saying may be clear to the audience, but why you are saying it won't be. For example, the characters in The Sopranos are very complex. Your own argument, the I say moment of your text, should always be a response to the arguments of others. So a better way to phrase this. Some say that The Sopranos presents characters of Italian Americans. In fact, however, the characters in the series are very complex. So there are some templates that you can use to show agreement. These are great to jot down, and actually I will upload them as documents for you to be able to print off into the resources tab. So looking at this, some ways to agree, you can say, she argues this, and it is agreeable because that. Or her argument that this is supported by new research showing that whatever it is that she's showing. Also have a template for disagreement. The argument he proposes, while persuasive, is inaccurate because, and then it would be whatever you say. Template for conceding and rebutting. He claims that X, and there could be mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, it is accurate that Y. On the other hand, it cannot be denied that Z. So thinking about your arguments, to paraphrase or to quote, that is the question. A paraphrase translates a short passage from a source into the writer's own words. You want to paraphrase when you want to use specific information from a brief passage in the source, or when you do not want to interfere with the flow of your own writing by inserting a quote. Be sure to When you're paraphrasing, make sure that you suspend your own beliefs for a time by putting yourself in the position of the author whose passage you are paraphrasing, so as not to misrepresent their message. This is about conveying their thoughts and their ideas, and not mixing it with your own. Keep in mind your own argument so it fits into your own agenda. Use signal verbs that fit the action, such as the author urges, or Jennifer Coster emphasizes that, or Dr. Smith insists on. This makes it clear whose ideas are being conveyed. So it's best to use quotes when quoting will strengthen your own argument, when they come from a highly respected authority, which is why it's important to establish that authority in the introduction, such as, according to Dr. Jones, a world-renowned historian, he says this, and use an exact quote. Or when summarizing an opposing or alternative view and you want to use brief quotations to illustrate accuracy, or if you want to give readers a sense of the source's actual voice, or you want to analyze the writer's choice of words or metaphors. What to remember when quoting? You want to remember the quote relevant passages. Frame every quotation, which means insert it into a quotation sandwich, as you can see from my little kitty cat here. You want to have your statement that introduces it as the top slice of bread. You want the explanation following it as the bottom slice of bread. And the quote goes in the middle. So just like a basic paragraph structure, you have your topic sentence, which explains what this paragraph is going to be about. You make your statement. You use a quote or paraphrase to support your statement, and then you tie them all together at the end of that paragraph, which is your essential quote sandwich. So here are some templates for introducing quotations, which is your top slice of bread. X states this, in X's view, according to X. So that would be your author. Here are some for the bottom slice of bread, where you're tying it all together. In other words, Dr. Jones believes this. In making this comment, Dr. Smith argues that this. So that takes us to the end of the They Say, I Say. If you're interested in this, if you Google, you can find a lot of the templates online. I will post the ones from this slideshow into the Extra Resources tab. And if you think that you'll ever have to do a lot of argumentative writing as you go through your academic career, it's a relatively inexpensive book. There's a couple of different versions, and you can usually get it relatively inexpensively from Amazon. I really recommend it. It's got a lot of useful information in it. Thanks.